What up, y'all? It's Chris. Wasn't planning on doing a video today, but I saw that James Toney signed a contract, multi-fight contract with the UFC. My channel is pretty much a boxing MMA channel, so I figured this topic can go out to both sides of my subscribers. You know, James Toney's been following Dana White around earlier this year trying to get signed. Apparently his efforts have paid off, literally. We don't know what the numbers are. You know, we may never know what the exact numbers are. It's actually hard for me to imagine that he'd be making more in UFC than he is in boxing. You know, UFC is just not at the pay scale that boxing is yet. Who's to say if it ever will be? I mean, it's hard for me to imagine any MMA fighter ever making the kind of money that Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao are currently earning in boxing. But you never know. Maybe down the line, way down the line, they might be. But James hasn't really been doing much in the boxing scene lately. Apparently, he wasn't having any big paydays come his way. That's what I got to presume. Why else would he want to get into this? It's hard for me to believe at his age that he'd really want to challenge himself. I know that a lot of hardcore MMA fans probably aren't going to be down with this signing. In all honesty, from a business perspective for Dana White, I think it's a no-lose situation. You know, if James goes in there, and either way, he's going to bring attention, James Toney. You know, he's a former champion, multi-division champion. He's known. You know, he's a great talker. You know, he talks a lot of shit. So he's going to draw attention, which is exactly what Dana White wants. I mean, that's the reason he brought Kimbo Slice into the UFC. That's the reason he brought Brock Lesnar into the UFC. Those guys have had different, obviously vastly different results. Brock Lesnar becoming the UFC champion, Kimbo Slice being not much more than, you know, what he was before he came in the UFC, in my opinion. But as for James, you know, it's hard for me to see him have much success at this age. I don't know who they're going to match him up with. If he gets matched up with a guy like Kimbo Slice, who's limited as he is, he'll kick Kimbo Slice's ass. Kimbo can't do nothing on the floor to him. If he gets matched up with a guy like Randy Couture, I don't think it's going to go so well for James. Randy Couture is a smart enough fighter to know to just put him on the ground and work him over and probably submit him fairly quickly. You know, in all honesty, it's hard for me to really think of any matchups that favor James Toney other than Kimbo Slice. There's other guys out there like a James Irvin or maybe a Crow Cop. Although Crow Cop I think would kill him with the kicks, but you never know. I mean, there's guys, you can always find guys. That's the thing. You can always find opponents that are going to lose, but in the UFC it's hard to bring in scrubs, you know. People demand a lot of the better fighters because it's such a high, it's the best organization in MMA. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing the press conferences. I'm looking forward to seeing what James Toney has to say about it. You know, once again, I don't see him having a lot of success inside the cage, but I will be interested in seeing his fight and how they not only market him, but just how they match him up. You know, wouldn't be surprised if he gets Randy Couture first. In all honesty, like I said, I think it'd be better to put him against Kimbo. I think that'd bring a lot of attention, probably make a lot of money, if not be the best fight. Definitely wouldn't be good for Kimbo. I think James Toney would whip his ass, you know. So, but I'm just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this situation. Like I said, no lose situation for Dana. Gonna get publicity. If James wins, you know, he'll say, if James wins a couple fights, he'll say, that's why I signed him, you know. Came in here and he proved that he was serious about it. If James loses and gets humiliated, Dana can say, you know, he can go back to that, see, boxers can't hang in MMA argument. Obviously, I don't think that's a valid argument regardless because it's a whole different sport, but he can cling to that. So either way, it's a no-lose situation for Dana White and the UFC. We'll see how the situation plays out for James Toney. I honestly don't think this will be for the best, but it is getting a lot of news and a lot of press already. So curious to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Boxing fans' thoughts, MMA fans' thoughts. What do you guys think? Before the signing, against it? How do you think James is going to do in the UFC? And just give me your feedback. That's it for now. Till next time, I'm out.